For all of recorded history, humanity has looked up and seen a single constant companion in the night sky, the moon. It is the metronome of our oceans, the keeper of our ancient calendars, and the silent witness to our entire evolution. Its presence is so fundamental to our world that we barely question it. But the existence of our moon, Luna, is the result of a chaotic and violent cosmic accident, and its solitude in our sky is not a universal rule, but a delicate, perhaps even lucky circumstance. To understand what would happen if we had a second moon, we must first understand the profound ways our one moon has shaped our reality. The story of our moon begins with a cataclysm. The leading scientific theory, the giant impact hypothesis, suggests that about 4.5 billion years ago, a Mars-sized protoplanet, which we call Theia, delivered a glancing blow to a young molten Earth. The collision was apocalyptic. It ejected a colossal amount of debris into orbit around our planet. Over thousands of years, gravity sculpted this ring of molten rock and vapor into the spherical body we now know as the Moon. This violent birth created a companion that is much larger relative to its planet than most other moons in the solar system. And this large size is the key to everything. The most obvious gift from our moon is the tides. It's a common misconception that the moon simply pulls the water towards it. In reality, it's a gravitational dance. The moon's gravity pulls strongest on the side of Earth closest to it, and weakest on the side farthest away. This differential pull stretches our planet, creating two tidal bulges, one facing the moon and one on the exact opposite side of the Earth. As the Earth rotates through these bulges, we experience the rhythm of high tides and low tides. But the moon's influence runs far deeper than our shorelines. It acts as a planetary stabilizer. Earth has an axial tilt of about 23.5 degrees, which gives us our predictable seasons. Without the moon's constant steadying gravitational pull, this tilt would wobble chaotically over millions of years. Scientists have simulated this, and the results are terrifying. Earth's axis could swing wildly from nearly 0 degrees, creating no seasons at all, to over 45 degrees, where the poles would receive more direct sunlight than the equator. Such a world would experience extreme, unpredictable climate shifts, making the evolution of complex life incredibly difficult, if not impossible. Finally, the moon is our cosmic brake. The constant friction of the tides sloshing around the planet has been slowly but surely slowing down Earth's rotation for billions of years. Shortly after its formation, a day on Earth was only about 6 hours long. Without the moon, our planet might still be spinning much faster, creating ferocious winds and a completely alien climate system. So our single moon gave us stable tides, predictable seasons, and a longer, calmer day. It sculpted the very environment that allowed us to evolve. But now, let's shatter that reality. Let's introduce a second moon into this delicate cosmic ballet. Let us call our familiar moon Luna, and its new companion Selene. For this scenario to be stable, even for a few million years, Selene would have to be smaller and orbit either much closer or much farther away than Luna. Let's imagine Selene is a captured asteroid, about half the diameter of Luna, placed on an inclined orbit between our current moon and the Earth. The moment it locks into orbit, our world begins to transform. The first and most dramatic change would be a declaration of war on our coastlines. The tides would enter a state of chaos. When Luna and Selene align in the sky, a phenomenon known as syzygy, their gravitational forces combine. This would create super tides of unimaginable power. Tides wouldn't just be higher, they could be 10 to 15 meters above normal high tide. Coastal cities as we know them would cease to exist. New York, London, Tokyo, all of them would be permanently submerged. Hundreds of millions of people would be displaced. Entire countries like the Netherlands or Bangladesh would be rendered uninhabitable. The world map would have to be completely redrawn. But when the two moons are on opposite sides of the sky or at right angles to each other, their gravitational poles would partially cancel out. This would lead to incredibly weak neap tides, where the water barely seems to move. This constant, violent cycle of extreme floods and rapid retreats would create vast, unstable intertidal zones, miles wide. These zones would be barren salt flats for half the day, and raging seas for the other half, an ecosystem hostile to almost all forms of life. The gravitational argument between the two moons wouldn't just pull on our water, it would pull on the very rock beneath our feet. This phenomenon known as solid Earth tides happens even now. The Earth's crust rises and falls by a few centimeters every day. With a second moon, this planetary kneading would be amplified dramatically. The stress on Earth's tectonic plates would be immense. Fault lines like the San Andreas in California or the Great Rift Valley in Africa would be under constant strain. Earthquakes would become far more frequent and devastatingly powerful. Volcanic activity would skyrocket as the restless magma below the crust is constantly agitated. The sky would often be choked with ash, creating spectacular fiery sunsets illuminated by the light of two moons, but also triggering volcanic winters and crop failures on a global scale. Our planet would become a geologically furious world. And then there is the change to the night itself. True darkness would become a relic of the past. Imagine a night sky, almost perpetually lit. When both moons are full, the landscape would be bathed in a bright, ethereal twilight, bright enough to read by. Even when one moon is new, the other would often be in the sky, casting its own silver light. This would revolutionize life on Earth. Nocturnal predators that rely on the cover of darkness would lose their primary advantage. An owl or a leopard would be silhouetted against a brightly lit landscape. To survive, entire species would have to adapt. Evolution might favor incredible new forms of camouflage, or perhaps even bioluminescence, not for attraction, but to create confusing flashes of light to disorient prey. The fundamental rhythm of the natural world, the cycle of sleep and wakefulness, of hunting and hiding, would be rewritten. Humanity, if we evolved in this world, would be fundamentally different. Our biology, our culture, Our very soul would be shaped by the twin lights. Our eyes might be larger, better adapted to a world without true night. Our mythology would not speak of a single lonely moon goddess, but of twin deities, perhaps one benevolent, representing the calm tides, and one chaotic and destructive, representing the super tides. Our measurement of time would be unrecognizable. The word month would be meaningless. Instead, our calendars would be incredibly complex, based on the long, intricate cycles of when Luna and Selene would align. The first astronomers wouldn't just be mapping the stars. They'd be creating vital charts to predict the next catastrophic tide. The dream of space exploration would be twice as compelling. The challenge of launching a rocket through the complex shifting gravitational fields of 3 bodies would be immense. But the prize would be double. Not 1, but 2 worlds hanging in our sky, beckoning us to visit. The first word spoken by an astronaut on another world might have been, "One down, 1 to go." A world with 2 moons is a world of extremes. It's more violent, more dangerous, and more chaotic. But it's also a world of profound alien beauty, a world bathed in perpetual silvery light. Studying this hypothetical reality does more than just entertain our imagination. It serves as a powerful reminder of the delicate, intricate balance that makes our planet possible. Our single lonely moon is not just a rock in the sky. It is the silent architect of our planet's stability, and in many ways, the guardian of life itself. The next time you look up at the night sky, remember that its beautiful solitude is the reason our world is the way it is.